The distress signal crackled through the void, weak and desperate. Ambassador Zethkar of the Viridian Council barely had enough power left in their dying ship's communications array to broadcast the message that would either save or doom their species. Please, anyone. We are starving. Our homeworld dies. We have nothing left to offer except our knowledge of the stars. 3 solar cycles had passed since the blight consumed Viridia Prime. What had once been fertile plains and abundant oceans now lay barren and poisoned. The Viridian people, proud and ancient, had been reduced to a scattered few thousand survivors fleeing in whatever vessel still functioned. Their technology, though advanced in astronomy and navigation, had proven useless against the biological catastrophe that claimed their world. The response came faster than Zethkar had dared hope. Viridian vessel, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the Terran Federation ship Harmony. We've received your distress call. Transmit your coordinates and prepare for immediate assistance. Zethkar's forearms trembled as they input the location data. Humans, they had heard whispers of these newcomers to the galactic community, a species that had only recently achieved faster-than-light travel, barely 2 centuries in space. Most established civilizations viewed them as primitive upstarts, useful perhaps as laborers or soldiers, but hardly worthy of serious diplomatic consideration. Captain Chen, Zethkar transmitted, their voice barely a whisper. We have 47 vessels carrying the last of our people. We require food, medical supplies, and temporary shelter. We can offer star charts of unexplored regions and our expertise in... Ambassador, Captain Chen's voice interrupted gently. You can negotiate later. Right now, you need help. We're bringing friends. Within 18 hours, Zethkar watched in stunned silence as space around their ragged fleet filled with ships. Not just 1 or 2 vessels, but dozens. Sleek Terran frigates, massive cargo haulers, hospital ships with the distinctive Red Cross markings, and floating behind them all like patient guardians. 3 enormous battlecruisers that dwarfed anything the Viridians had ever constructed. The first shuttle to dock carried not negotiators or officials, but doctors and nutritionists who immediately began treating the malnourished Viridian refugees. The second shuttle brought something that made Zethkar's photosynthetic skin patches flush with emotion. The aroma of food. Real, fresh food. We weren't sure about your dietary requirements, explained Dr. James Okafor as he supervised the unloading of containers filled with fruits, vegetables, and synthesized proteins. So we brought variety. Our xenobiologists worked around the clock to ensure everything would be compatible with Viridian physiology, as Zethkar watched their people, children, who hadn't eaten a full meal in months, carefully taste the offered sustenance. They felt something they had thought lost forever, hope. But it was Captain Chen's next words that truly staggered them. Ambassador, we've prepared temporary habitats on 3 of our colony worlds. Each can house about 15,000 individuals comfortably, while we work on a more permanent solution. Our agricultural specialists have already begun developing crops that can grow in Viridian atmospheric conditions. Captain, Zethkar managed, their translator struggling with concepts their language barely contained. We are 47,000 refugees with nothing to offer but gratitude. Why would humans do this? What do you gain? Captain Chen was quiet for a moment, looking out at the Viridian children playing with human crew members who had taught them simple games. Ambassador, my species has a saying, there but for the grace of God go I. We've faced extinction too. We know what it's like to be desperate, to watch our world burn. She paused, then continued with the quiet intensity Zethkar would later learn was characteristic of humans discussing matters they considered important. But more than that, we've learned something that not all species seem to understand. The galaxy is vast and dangerous. There are threats out there that make your blight look like a minor inconvenience. The Devourers in the Magellanic Clouds, the machine intelligences of Sector 7, the reality warpers of the far dark. Zethkar's translator implants barely processed these terms, but the captain's meaning was clear. Every species we save, every civilization we help rebuild, every hand we extend in friendship, that's another ally, another perspective, another set of minds working to solve problems we can't even imagine yet. Your star charts might help us find new worlds. Your astronomical knowledge might spot a threat before it finds us. Your children might grow up to develop technologies that save billions. The captain smiled, A uniquely human expression that Zethkar was beginning to understand, conveyed warmth rather than aggression. Besides, we have more food than we know what to do with. Earth's agricultural revolution didn't stop when we left the planet. Our colony worlds are producing surpluses that our economists are still trying to figure out how to manage. 3 months later, Zethkar stood in the observation deck of the newly constructed Viridian Cultural Center on New Geneva. Watching human and Viridian children play together in the gardens below, the integration had been surprisingly smooth. Humans, it seemed, had extensive experience incorporating refugee populations into their societies. The door chimed and Captain Chen entered, now wearing the insignia of Admiral. "The Council has made their decision," she announced without preamble. "We're accepting your people's request for full Federation membership." The vote wasn't even close, it was unanimous. Zethkar turned from the window, still struggling with human emotional expressions. "Admiral, we are still refugees. We have contributed little beyond our knowledge of stellar cartography and your insights helped us chart 15 new systems, 3 of which contained habitable worlds. Your astronomers spotted the rogue planet in the Kepler system before it could collide with our research station. Your philosophers have enriched our universities, and your engineers have already improved our navigation systems by 12%. Chen moved to stand beside Zethkar at the window. "But honestly, Ambassador, even if you had contributed nothing at all, we would have done the same thing. It's who we are." As if summoned by their conversation, space outside the station suddenly filled with the familiar signatures of arriving ships. But these weren't human vessels, they were Altarian cruisers, their sleek hulls gleaming in the system's twin suns. "What's happening?" Zethkar asked, momentarily alarmed. Chen's expression hardened, but not with fear, with determination. "The Altarians are making another push into the Vega system. 3 billion civilians are about to become refugees." She touched her communicator. "This is Admiral Chen to Fleet Command. Begin Operation Open Arms. I want every available transport, hospital ship, and escort vessel prepared for immediate deployment." She paused, then added with the quiet intensity Zethkar now recognized as peculiarly human, "And bring the battlecruisers. All of them. If the Altarians want to create refugees, they can explain themselves to our diplomats. If they want to stop our humanitarian mission..." Chen's smile was sharp as a blade. "Well, humans have opinions about people who prey on the defenseless." As Zethkar watched the Federation fleet mobilize with terrifying efficiency, they finally understood what made humans so unique in the galaxy. Most species saw charity and military might as contradictory impulses. Humans had weaponized compassion itself. They didn't just offer food to the hungry. They brought enough firepower to ensure no one could stop the meal from being served.